Once upon a time, Demeter, the goddess of harvest and agriculture, was a prominent figure in ancient Greek religion and mythology. She was born as the second child of the Titans Rhea and Cronus and had 5 other siblings named Hestia, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. Demeter was famous for her powers in fertility of the earth and crops, but she was also acknowledged as a goddess of health, birth, marriage, and had connections to the underworld. One of the famous stories that tell the tale of Demeter and Persephone is the Homeric hymn to Demeter. It reveals the tragic event of Persephone's abduction by Hades, and Demeter's desperate search to find her daughter. When Hades took Persephone to be his wife, Demeter could not bear the separation and neglected her duties as the goddess of agriculture, which resulted in a deadly famine. Zeus, the king of the gods, ordered Hades to return Persephone to her mother, but because Persephone had eaten food from the underworld, she had to divide the year between her mother and husband, which explains the seasonal cycle. Demeter's titles, including Ceto and Thesmophoros, reflected her roles as a giver of food, the sacred law, and the cycle of life and death. The Eleusinian Mysteries, a religious tradition predating the Olympian pantheon, centered around Demeter and her daughter Persephone. Interestingly, Demeter is also associated with the Anatolian goddess Cybele and the Roman goddess Ceres, which further extends her influence beyond the Greek world. These tales and associations with different goddesses make Demeter an enthralling character that will surely remain unforgettable for years to come. Demeter was one of the most enigmatic Greek mythological figures in history. She was born as a newborn, along with her siblings, only to be swallowed by her father Cronus. Luckily, she was rescued by Zeus, who gave her father a special potion. Demeter, who was a goddess of the harvest, became famous for being the mother of the goddess Persephone. There are different accounts of how Persephone was conceived by her mother, Demeter, and her father, Zeus. According to one story, Persephone was born after Zeus seduced Demeter, who was also his younger sister. Some even believed that she was a separate goddess from the queen of the underworld. Nonetheless, Demeter and Persephone were worshipped together, and in cultic titles, they were referred to as the goddesses or the Demeters. Demeter was also known for her sexual escapades. For instance, she had a love affair with the agricultural hero Iasion in a plowed field, which resulted in the birth of Plutus. Moreover, according to Diodorus Siculus, Demeter and Zeus were the parents of Dionysus, who was born 3 times after his destruction by the Titans. Poseidon, Demeter's younger brother, pursued her during her search for Persephone, and the two had a relationship that resulted in the birth of the horse god Arion. Remarkably, Demeter also had a fling with Mecon, an Athenian, who was later turned into a poppy flower. Orphic literature suggests that Demeter was the mother of the witchcraft goddess Hecate. Many interesting details surround Demeter's life, making her a fascinating figure in Greek mythology. Once upon a time, in ancient Greece, there was a beautiful goddess named Demeter. She was known as the goddess of agriculture and had a lovely daughter named Persephone. Demeter loved her daughter very much, and they spent a lot of time together, frolicking in the meadows and playing under the sizzling sun. However, one day, Persephone was kidnapped by Hades, the god of the underworld. Demeter went into a deep state of grief and searched everywhere for her daughter, but she was nowhere to be found. She wandered around for 9 days, looking desperately for Persephone. Finally, Hecate, a goddess of magic, revealed to Demeter that Hades had taken Persephone with the permission of Zeus. Demeter was enraged and caused the seasons to stop, and all living things began to die. Zeus, afraid of Demeter's wrath, decided to send Hermes to the underworld to retrieve Persephone. However, Persephone had eaten pomegranate seeds while she was in the underworld, which bound her to Hades and the underworld for certain months of every year. This caused the seasons to change, and living things to grow and die according to the agreement between Hades and Persephone. Demeter was so happy to have her daughter back, but she could only see her for a few months every year, during spring and summer. As for Persephone, she took on a new role as the queen of the underworld, ruling alongside Hades and becoming a beloved figure among the dead. According to some, Persephone's time in the underworld corresponds with unfruitful seasons, while her return to the upper world signifies the arrival of springtime. According to other versions of the story, Persephone is not just the daughter of Demeter but also one of the three guises of the triple goddess, Kore, Persephone, and Hecate. There is even a story of a mortal woman named Baubo who lifted her skirt, showing Demeter her genitals, revealing Iacchus, her son. Strange as it may sound, the story is supported by Clement of Alexandria, who has discovered several Baubo figurines. Once, Demeter, the Greek goddess of agriculture and harvest, set out in search of her daughter Persephone who had been abducted by Hades. She searched high and low, asking everyone she met for any information on her missing daughter. Eventually, she arrived at the palace of the kind-hearted king of Eleusis, Celeus. Disguising herself as an old woman, Demeter asked Celeus for shelter. To show his generosity, Celeus welcomed her and gave her a place to stay. He even appointed her as a nurse to his sons, Demephon and Triptolemus. Demeter was grateful for Celeus' kindness towards her, and in return, she decided to do something extraordinary for his family. Demeter decided to make Demephon immortal by anointing him with ambrosia and putting him on the hearth's flames. She hoped to make him a god and grant him immortality. However, when Demeter started the procedure, Metaneira, Demephon's mother, discovered her. She screamed in panic, scaring Demeter and interrupting the process. Despite the interruption, Demeter did not punish Metaneira. Instead, she decided to pass on her knowledge to Triptolemus. She taught him the secrets of agriculture, and he, in turn, shared them with others who wished to learn. The gift of agriculture became the foundation of the Greek agrarian economy and demonstrated Demeter's kindness and willingness to share her knowledge with humanity. Over time, various elements were added to the story, such as the cities of Eleusis, Rarus, and Trochilus. The Demephon story may also have originated from an earlier folk tale, but regardless of its origin, it remains a popular and beloved myth of Greek mythology.
Do you want to explore more Greek mythology stories? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.